Hey, welcome. This is Andy Brainer and Logan Ferguson, and we're here to talk about the Kivu Gap Year. As most of you guys know, what we've started to do is just interview some of the past students that have been on the Gap Year as they travel the world. Some maybe we'll have some current students on here that will tell you kind of what they're going through now. Some just graduated last year, some maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and we just kind of want to get a perspective on what's going on. So I have a friend. He was around our camp, Kivu, in Durango, Colorado for a long time and decided to do the gap year with us in 2011, 2012 class, Logan Ferguson. So Logan, welcome to the Kivu Gap Year page.
Hello, thank you. It's good to be here.
Glad that you joined us. So Logan, I'm just going to go through some questions. You know, we want to make this kind of short but informative.
Yeah.
So just kind of let us know. Our first question is always, if you could describe the Kivu Gap Year in a word or a phrase, or kind of give us a summary of what your gap year was like. Tell us a little bit about what gap year was like to you.
I had an answer prepared for this, and it completely just left me. That seems to be the
Totally
case.
cool.
The first gap year for me was a relief, and I know that's kind of like a strange answer to hear. It's not super profound, but through Kivu and through my life and being able to travel as a kid, I'd met so many people that had done so many cool things. And like, I got to go here and I got to go help these people out, or I'm from here, I'm from there. And I had this immense sense of wanderlust that I didn't know what to do with, like from high school, because we got a ton of foreign exchange students from like Argentina and Korea and England and France and Germany, Switzerland, everywhere.
Wow.
I just wanted to go, and I wanted to go help people, and I wanted to make something not out of my life, but like out of my young adult life. I wanted something, not to be conceited and set myself apart from people, but I wanted to do something different.
That's cool.
I wanted to set myself apart from a normal 18-year-old that, goes straight from high school to college. And that's exactly what I did.
That's awesome. I mean, that's exactly why we're doing this. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So when you think back to your gap year a couple of years ago, what's the highlight? I mean, you've had a couple of years to kind of simmer on this experience. When you think back on it with fond memories, what's kind of the thing that you remember the most?
I remember Rwanda the most. Rwanda was such a fun time for me, because you go from such a fast-paced here to like go, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to do this, to Rwandan time, which is like 3 things in a day and everything's fine. And then you have the rest of the day to like hang out with people and like do some fellowship stuff and meet new people and go out into the community, or meet students. And it was just such a good time for me in my life, because I got to like take a step back as a part of only doing so many things a day and really like analyze myself as a person. And like the Logan in Rwanda was analyzing the Logan back in Oklahoma, which is a really good thing. And I don't think a lot of people get to do that, to like self-analyze that much over an extended period of time.
That is huge. I mean, the idea that an 18-year-old could go to a different country and have this self-awareness that you could look in on yourself from sort of an outside culture and say, what is this kid all about? And what does he want? And how does this relate to the world? I mean, that's awesome. Like that, I know 50-year-old guys who don't get to that. So what a cool thing. So how do you think the gap year has helped you? Like, tell us a little bit about where you are now, and like, how has it helped you in your studies or what you're doing now?
I'm currently a senior at the University of Central Oklahoma. I'm a strategic communications major with a minor in journalism. I work at a cigar shop as a tobacconist, which is kind of awesome. I get to do that.
That's awesome.
But gap year, coming back home, and where I'm sitting right now, helped me out so much with like my personal interactions with other humans and actually caring about other people. Because it seems to be the case, and like, I'm not trying to bash on anybody, nobody in specific. I'm just talking about like a paradigm and a mind shift as a whole, that it seems like as like Americans, as people, we have so much to do. Like, we can ask somebody how they are or what they're doing, and then as soon as we ask that question, it just turns off. We don't pay attention. The gap year helped me out so much because there are so many people, including the people that I was with, our chaperones, the people we were helping, that cared so much about what we were doing. It was really hard for me to not change and become a very caring person. And that's exactly what I did. And I think that is the best thing that could have happened, because any interaction that I go into now is just sincere.
Yeah.
It tries the best to be sincere.
That's so cool, man. Like you're the poster child. These answers, like this is exactly what we're trying to do is be self-aware, experience the world, understand ourselves sort of from an outside perspective, not to take ourselves too serious, but then to really be able to engage with people at a caring level instead of just a, hey, who are you? What's your major? How you doing? Move on down the road to the next person. Awesome.
That happens so much. Like anybody, I mean, the people that I work with are older than me. I think I'm the youngest person that I work with, but the people who come in do just that. And they're great people, but hey, how you doing? What's your name? What's your major? Next time they come back and just ask the same question.
That's for real.
Like, I've seen you like times now. Like you're not a new person to me. I know what you get. I know how much it costs. What are you doing?
You're like, name tag. All you got to do is read. Oh, dude. So, okay, different question. Let's focus on, like, think back to the 18-year-old Logan.
Okay.
And he's excited about going to college and he thinks he's got life figured out. And the world says, man, push the throttle down and you got to get your applications in and get accepted to university and get on down the road, get your studies going so that you can, do your thing. How would you coach today's student that's feeling that pressure of performance in academics as an 18-year-old today? And, what would you tell them about the value of maybe doing a gap year?
You have to slow down sometimes. After high school, you've been going to school for 12 years? So kindergarten through senior year. Good God, I couldn't remember that. You're going kindergarten through senior year, and your paces always go that as a student and as a person, and this happened to me, like you don't have a lot of time to realize who you are as a person because everything in school can be told to you. You have sports to do. You have clubs and activities. You have your family and your friends. Sometimes it is okay to just take time off for yourself and figure yourself out. And if you get an opportunity like the gap year to do it, I think it may be kind of a bad idea to turn it down, especially if it's right in front of you and it's graspable. Do it.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can describe it because so many things happened to me as a person on gap year that like summarizing them in a short amount of time would take days.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much stuff that happened.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I find that same thing. Like students who are just like some students, they're driven, they knew they were going to be a doctor when they were 3 or whatever. And so they're just going to go, and they're type A and all that. But what we're finding today is that 40% of the students in our university don't finish. And a lot of it is because they just don't know who they are. They don't know what they want to do. They've got this, I love the word you used, wanderlust. They have this wanderlust to go explore things, but they don't have a vehicle to do it. And so here you are as an 18-year-old kid or a 19-year-old kid, and you go, oh, wow, you mean I can go to Africa? You mean I can go to the Philippines? I can go to India or China, or we just opened a deal in South America now. I mean, golly, are you crazy? Like, what? You'd rather sit in Stillwater, Oklahoma or Oklahoma City and okay, go there after it's over. But come on, man.
I mean, Oklahoma City is cool, but Kigali's pretty awesome.
Kigali's pretty awesome. That's good. All right, one more question, or actually two more questions. I'd like to talk. You obviously had to deal with your parents on this gap year. Small town in Oklahoma. I've been to your house. I know your parents well. And I know that it's hard. It's hard for parents to let go. We talked a little bit about this earlier. How was the interaction with your parents? Because I know there are parents that are going to watch this and they're going to be like, I don't know about sending my kid for a year around the world. I mean, I kind of want them to be here close. What would you tell parents in your experience?
My parents were very hard to convince. First of all, as a part of the question that you asked, because they're not overbearing, but they are very protective. Yeah. And I understand that. I understand that parents can be worried about sending their child, like the person that they've raised for the past 18, 19, however many years, wants to go and travel the world. And that's scary.
Yeah.
That's really scary because there were points where I wasn't able to make contact with my parents for days. But you have to realize you have to give a child a shot at discovering who they are before they go to college. Because once they go to college, I feel like it's going to be really hard. And I see it. for whatever reason, I was able to dodge basic classes. So right now I'm in classes with seniors in high school and college freshmen, and I'm a senior in college. And those kids, like, the more and more I hear them talk, the more and more I realize, like, these kids have no idea what they're doing. Like, they'll say what their major is, and it's no offense to anybody. It's just like a personal something that I've noticed. They'll hear them talk, and I think, like, if they had an opportunity like that, like I did, if they had an opportunity to travel the world and do different things, climb Kilimanjaro, go to Turkey, spend time in the Philippines, I feel like it could be a lot different for them. And I know every parent wants their child to succeed, and I feel like the gap year as a program and as an entity is a vehicle for that. It's a vehicle for success. And I'm not trying to be like sappy or anything, but without this program, I don't know what I'd be doing right now. I don't know if I'd be in college, but just the program itself gave me the drive, because I want to do work with a nonprofit. That's what I want to do with a communications degree. I want to go to Hong Kong or London or anywhere that'll take me and just work with people that are doing good things for other people.
Man, that is awesome. That is awesome. So we, that's one of the things I like to tell parents too, is that you have this sort of worldview and you have this place where kids grow up in the four square walls of their community. And without sort of some exposure to kind of blow that worldview up and let them see opportunities, like what's really out there. You only have this vision of Africa that you have because of what you've seen on the news or what you've seen on, maybe you saw a TV show or a documentary on it or something, but you don't really understand what Kigali in Rwanda is all about unless you actually go there and you meet a Rwandan, and then all of a sudden your worldview blows up just a little bit more and you go, oh, I can engage here. This is cool. I can do this. Yeah. That's awesome.
You got to get out of your comfort zone. You have to, like, especially as a young adult, like I was so set in my community in Oklahoma with my group of friends, and like, this is my car, my house, and my friends, and this is where I go, and this is what I do, and I'm never going to change. And as soon as I was able to get out of my comfort zone and blossom more as a person, I became the most excellent version of myself that I could have imagined.
That's good. An excellent version of myself. I work a lot with mentoring kids, and that's a phrase I like to use a lot, to be transformed into who God made you to be the most excellent person that you can be. That's pretty awesome. All right, this is your time. Final thing, final statement, like what, sum up your gap year, anything that we didn't ask that you want to tell us, or anything. This is Logan's final declaration.
The final countdown. First of all, Boomer Sooner.
Of course.
There's I think that, I'm a gap year like veteran, I guess, like air quotes. Like I was the second year to do it. Yeah, you are. And seeing the program as it has evolved has been insane. Really, the stuff you guys are doing, like going from Denver to Philadelphia, now to Washington D.C., from Phil's group that had like 6 or 7 students to 9 students to 15 to 25 to 35 to 50. The growth is just insane, and like you guys are doing a great job. If it's anything that I can say that could help anybody, it is that the program in itself and the people who are running it, including you, Andy, are doing a fantastic job. And I couldn't imagine a better program for kids around the age that I was, because if I could have, like right now, if I hadn't gone on the gap year, if I can imagine a program that I could have gone on for a year or 6 months or however long that would have helped me evolve as a person, the gap year would have been exactly what I could have imagined. Like perfect. And I've had so much time to think about that. Like I've tried to keep in contact with as many people in my group as I can, and I've been able to get a hold of Brian Kukul a lot. Yeah. And him and I talk, and this program that we were on, you don't realize until you get back, like how good of a deal it is. And it's insane, because while you're in the program, like you're so enveloped by the things that you're doing, you're like, I'm in Denver, I got to go to my internship, and then we have class and everything's awesome. Let's go to a park and ride bikes and climb mountains, which is great. Yeah. To Haiti, where like, let's go to a beach. Let's help these people out, build a basketball court. To Rwanda, where we're doing a soccer camp and building a ropes course. To Kilimanjaro, which was insane and awesome. Rough, man. No, it's so much fun. To the Philippines, like the pace of the gap year is pretty moderate, but it gives you so much stuff to do that you don't realize how much you've changed until you get back.
Yeah.
Until the week of immersion you have when you get to see your parents again and you go home and then you've changed so much and everything around you is kind of like evolving to that. Like you see things completely differently.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You know, what's great about guys like you, Logan, is that we can come back and it feels like, you know, we haven't talked in a long time, but it feels like there's this connection because I know what you did and you know what I've done. And
Yeah.
it's like we've got this thing. To your point about transformation and changing, we have implemented parents' weekends midterm. And so we've
Okay.
just completed Philadelphia, Washington, and Denver, where we invite parents to come to see their kids. And what's crazy is even though kids are in the program and they're doing their thing and you're like, you don't realize that you're changing. Now that we see parents coming back, they're like, who's that? Who's that kid that you just introduced me to, you know?
Yeah.
You can see these monumental changes happening in such small increments that yeah, I mean, what you described is awesome. Brother, thanks for taking the time. I want to try to make this short. I want to respect your time. I really appreciate you coming and doing this, and yeah, good luck to you and your fiance and all the world that you're about to embark on. That's awesome.
She read until like 6 a.m, or else she'd be saying hello.
Got to do what you got to do.
Right.
All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back
course.
tomorrow. Actually, I got another student that wants to do it, so we're just going to keep compiling these. If you want to see more about the Kivu Gap Year, you can check out KivuGapYear.com and watch the blogs or see the stories or whatever you want to do, or you can contact us at info@KivuGapYear.com, and we'd love to tell you more about what we're doing. All right, man. Thanks, Logan Ferguson. See you soon, buddy.
Yeah. See you, man.